Hello folks, I'm Giuseppe Nerva from Simulation Daily. Today we are at Tokyo Haneda Airport on the apron of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. We're going to fly in Japan for a nice and relaxed flight from Haneda to Kitakyushu Airport. We're going to fly Star Flyer, which is a relatively little known airline in Japan, and we're going to fly to Star Flyer's own home base, which is Kitakyushu. This choice of Kitakyushu is pretty obvious, since it's one of the new airports that I have introduced with the new word update that they released around Tokyo Game Show. And we're also going to test the Fenix A320 on the new SIM update 4. It was just released a few days ago alongside the PS5 version. Of course, this is the PC version because the Fenix A320 is not available on the PS5 version or the Xbox version because it requires an external program that does not work on consoles, unfortunately. That's unfortunately because it's a fantastic aircraft. There is another Starfire aircraft that's departing. Anyway, we're going to go inside our flight deck. Gonna close the door and lock it so no one can come inside. And we're going to start from cold in the dark as usual. If you guys prefer to not see the all cold and dark procedure, that's absolutely fine. You can use YouTube's chapters to skip directly to takeoff or cruise or whatever part of the flight you would like to see. Okay, we turn off the battery and the external power. We're waiting for the screens to self-test. In the meanwhile, we're going to import our flight plan from SimBrief, RJTT to RJFR. We have 28 minutes to depart, which should be plenty. In the meanwhile, we are waiting for our pre-clicks. There you go. Pip, pip, pip. Which means that our systems are initialized and it's time to start the APU. In the meanwhile, we can turn on the aiders. 1, 3, 2. Put them into nav. And we can initialize our flights. Go into Aptsu. You'll see menu. Flight init. And we required the flight data. Which has been inserted. Then we go to init. And we do an init request. None. Okay. We enter the flight number, which for this flight is SFJ89. It's an existing flight, by the way. Only it's in the evening. We're flying in the early afternoon, but still. I like to use an existing flight number because, you know, realism. I could have like researched a flight that was closer, but whatever. So the APU is available. APU bleed goes on and external power goes off. So we go into the ground services and we can remove the GPU, which we don't need anymore. Now we can go into mass and balances. we can load the aircraft. Just gonna do the instant version. We have 146 passengers today. The jetway is detaching automatically, which is nice. Now we turn on the navigation light and logo light. Fuel pumps will go on. Crew supply goes on as well. There is no more white light, which means that we are golden. Now we arm our emergency lights. Should have been armed before we load the passengers, but since we did it instant, auto no smoking and seatbelt belts on. Since the fuel is all loaded, we can tell our passengers to fasten their seatbelts. You wouldn't before while the fuel is still being loaded, because you never know. There could be a fire and the need for an evacuation. Now we would require ATC clearance, but we are not using the simulator's ATC, so we are clearing ourselves. Here in the init we enter the cost index, which is 30. And the cruise flight and temperature. The cruise flight is 280. Pretty low cruise flight. Looks like the wind are good at that height. And the temperature is minus 43. Now put our JFK as alternate. And we request the winds. We have the winds. Check them out. Return. Clear some of those advisories, which we don't need anymore. Now we're going to the flight plan. Select the departure runway, which is going to be, this time around, a very good one, because it gives us a lovely departure over Tokyo, which is 34R. And we go toward that lovely departure over Tokyo, which is an Inox 4. Insert. Then we go to the secondary flight plan. Copy the active. Go back to the flight plan, main flight plan. Select our destination, which is Kitakyushu, RJFR. We are landing on runway 36, which means that it's going to be actually sorry, I got it wrong. Please, JFR. arrival. That should select the AirNav 36, not just 36. Is an AirNav an AirNav approach. Sorry. Inserted. Normally I do ILSs, so this is going to be special. We're doing AirNav today. In 1 minute it will align our navigation. In the meanwhile we can turn on the constraints on both sides. And we wait for the alignment. There it comes, so we can check out our flight plan to make sure that everything jives. We depart from Tokyo. We do a nice arc around the Bay of Tokyo. That will give us a really nice view of the Bay of Tokyo. Then we'll go. Let's give us a little bit more range. That bar is always in the way. Okay. We'll go all the way west across almost the whole of the mainland of Japan, which means this is going to be a very scenic flight if the weather is good. So there is a discontinuity between Asari and Topip. It is the kind of discontinuity that you can simply clear. Oh, sorry. I had a advisory in the way there. Now I clear it. There you go. Insert. As you can see, if I lower the range to see it well, it simply connected it, and we are doing a little bit of a loop here and go straight into the runway. Sorry. Now we go back into arc and we select back 10 miles. At this point we would select the squawk that ATC gives us, but since we're not using it, we have no squawk. Well, we'll just leave it there. Then we go into init. Next page. And we need to insert our zero fuel center gravity and zero fuel weight. Center of gravity is 57, sorry, weight is 57.9, and the zero fuel center of gravity is 32.6. 57.9, 32.6. Boom. Now we need a block fuel, which is a 7.1, I believe. Just checking that my operational flight plan matches everything else. It is correct. And I will populate. There you go, everything is done. Now we go to data. Next page. Pilot's route. Store the active flight plan. There you go. Go back to the EFB. and we send to send the MCDU to the MCDU our mass. We go again to the MCDU menu, Atsu, AOC menu, received messages, and we look at this load ship, which is pretty old, and the newer one we accept it. Turn. Okay. Now we're back to the EFP. We go to the departure performance. We sync the load sheet. And we sync the weather. We put flap configuration 1 plus F, no toga. Anti-ice is off because it's a nice day. Packs are gonna be on. Surface is dry. Everything is fine. So we calculate. Calculated our performance. And we send it to MCDU. Then our local altimeter is 1012. We drop it literally here. Flight radar button is on, and we see that the speed and the heading are dashed like this, which means that everything is correct. If you see the numbers here, it means you forgot something. The FCDU altitude, which is this, the EDC will clear us, but we clear ourselves to 10,000 because we're cool like that. Transponder goes to auto. And we turn on our beacon. Sorry, why am I thinking about food now? Since we turn on our beacon, that's why we are about to start our engine. And when you turn out our beacon light, it tells everyone around the plane to clear out because you're about to push back and turn on your engine. Throttles are in idle. APU bleed confirmed on. Let's see the ground surfaces. Make sure everything is off. Let's remove the shocks and cones. Then we will be giving the ATC clearance to push and start. We pretend that we have been given that. And just put my favorite view for the pushback. There you go. Back into the cockpit. Let's just check the performance pace is fine before, and everything is there before we move. Now we are going to go to ground services, and we're going to connect the tag. And order it to push us back. It's connecting it slowly. Actually, I believe it was a lady. Connected. Parking brake goes off. And we are being pushed back. So we go into engine selector. Start. Push engine 1. Back in time, in a few years ago, you start with engine 2. But nowadays, it's all about engine 1. And we can take a good look at the engine starting. And a good hear too, because the sound is fantastic. Let's go back. It's almost available. When here says available, it means that you are ready to push start for engine 2. I think it's time to start turning. Okay, you tell the took to stop. Stop. Brakes. And go away. Let's wait for the engine to be started. Take a nice view here. I believe we're ready. We are. Both engines are fired. We have a good start. So we get this mode selector again to norm. APU bleed is not needed anymore. We can turn off the APU. Auto brake, go to max. Ground spoilers armed. Press the reset button of the rudder trim, just to be sure. Transponder and TCAS should already be in Evo, and it's still in Noto, so that's good. Parking brake goes off. We're just going to follow these Shanghai Airlines to the runway. Oh, we should put the flaps also in position. And we should set the rudder trim which we have been requested, which was down 0.5. So we go into flight controls. And we down 0. Is that correct? 0.9. 6, 5. Okay. We can give it a little bit more juice. And we are on our way. Going to do our controls check. Right, left, up, down. Disconnect the pedal. And we test the rudder as well. Reconnect the pedals. Oh, look at our colleague that is taking off for us. I wonder where he's going. There is a nice little traffic jam for departure, which means that we're going to have some time. Variety of aircraft as well. Going to queue up, put on the brakes. We can remove the flying control page. And now we just go with the traffic jam. Follow along. Someone is landing, that's why the British Airways is not moving. It's waiting for that guy to land. Look like a sky mark. Nice flare. Nice landing, man. Or lady. We don't know. It's going to be behind this ANA. ANA. And enjoy the spectacle of people taking off. It's a nice little line here. Soon we'll have to move though. They are lining up. I love when there is a nice little variety of airlines lined up for takeoff. It's just a aesthetically pleasing thing, I suppose. It's our turn to move. Not really, actually. Now it is. Bye bye, British Airways. Have a nice flight to London. I believe it must be London. You can take it easy. Don't need to hurry, we need to stop soon. Now that ANA 787 has lined up, that London has departed, and we get a nice view of Tokyo from here. We're going to see Tokyo really nicely when we take off. And other people are adding to the traffic jam. So it will be our turn to move. See, if you just skip to takeoff, you would have missed this beautiful thing. This beautiful traffic jam with so many different airlines. Let's go. Really not too much in a hurry, to be honest. We're gonna have to stop soon. Bye bye, ANA. Ooh, we got a guy really up our rear. Take a look at the other ANA that's landing. Guy, keep your distance. Keep your distance. I don't want you this close. This is not nice. Well, I guess I have quite a bit of distance from the one in front of me, but this is still rude. Rude, very rude. Okay, I'm going a little ahead now because that's just not nice. Okay, dude is moving. Yeah, now I'm in a hurry to move. I don't want to be caught up by that big 737, which seems to be like thirsty or something. I should just turn on my APU. Looks like smoke in his face. Is that basically a fart? Yeah, it is. Always says that the APU looks like something that I can't really mention because we get demonetized. I mean, thought I looks like. But I'm not turning on my APU for this guy. We have a solar seat behind us too. Another little airline. Anyway, I am absolutely in love with the Starflyer livery. There's a little detail not many people notice because it's so subtle, but it's fantastic. It's actually asymmetrical. Just look at the from the if you look at from the right of the plane, the tail is white. If you look at from the left of the plane, the tail is black. Isn't that fantastic? I love that little detail. And the black and white livery, it is just so classy. I love it. I really do. Yeah, we're almost there. If you're lucky, we don't get anyone lined up for landing because that's gonna slow us down a lot if people have to land as well. See, this is a good distance, not like the thing you did, your 777. That was not coming to close. I got a good message. Tokyo is absolutely beautiful with the new photogrammetry, and I love it. Like the new World Update Japan that they released in September was the best gift for me. I loved it. Okay, let's go back in our flight deck. And we're almost there. Everything looks so pristine, like the photogrammetry is so good. It's not absolutely new, because I believe it's from 2002, like late 2002, but still it's much newer than the one we had before, which was from 2014. Sorry, 2022, not 2002. That would have been old. 2022, and the older one was from 2014. Shanghai Airlines guy is taking off. And I guess we can start doing our takeoff reparations since we're close. Did I? Oh, we taxied without the lights. Oopsies. Okay, fine. So light goes in takeoff. The takeoff lights go on. Cabin advice for departure. Transponder goes in TA. Strobe lights go on. Engine mode select fine. The weather radar goes into 1. And radiator wind shear goes into auto. Takeoff. Config button. Press. Normal. We're fine. So we are ready to take off whenever this guy goes. He's going. We can enter the runway right behind it. There you go. We'll line up nicely. And we are ready for departure. So, push up our throttle. Wait for our engines to spool up. Drop brakes. We're in flex. Keep the center line nicely, or as nicely as we can. V1 rotate. We have positive climb. Gear up. Autopilot on. Disarm spoilers. Flaps up. Cover climb. TCAS goes in Tara, and we're done. And I can give you a nice view of Tokyo. Our landing preparations are done. Sorry, our takeoff procedure is done. There is Odaiba right in front of us, where the famous Gundam statue is. I don't think we can see it from here, but it is reproduced. The airport we just took off from is there. Told you this departure was quite spectacular. There is a bit of cloud blocking our view to full Tokyo, but it's Skytree. My favorite hotel in Tokyo is really close to Skytree. It's more or less where my left wingtip is, in Ryogoku. It's also where the sumo tournaments are held. But the fact that my favorite hotel is there has actually nothing to do with sumo. In the meanwhile, we can already clear ourselves to our cruise altitude. As soon as we're going above the cruise altitude, we can put the QNH into standard. Many people wonder what this structure right in front of Haneda Airport is. You can see it behind the cloud. That's the Tower of the Wind, and it's called aptly Tower of the Wind because it is actually basically an air vent for a giant tunnel that goes from Tokyo Prefecture to Chiba Prefecture. That structure there is actually the exit of the tunnel, and then you just proceed to Chiba Prefecture on that giant bridge. Get a really nice view of Tokyo from here. This photogrammetry is like incredible. Like, this is so good that I honestly, it's so large that covers like the whole of Tokyo metropolitan area, all the way to Chiba, like almost all of Chiba Prefecture, almost all the way to Mount Fuji on the other side. By the way, there is Mount Fuji. This is the industrial area of Yokohama, which is the next city from Tokyo, and not many people know that Yokohama is in a different prefecture. It's in Kamakura Prefecture. Just like Chiba on the other side, on that side is Chiba Prefecture. It's also a different prefecture. Finally, when you go to the Tokyo Game Show, you're not even in Tokyo Prefecture, you're in Chiba Prefecture. Because Tokyo Game Show is in Kahin Makuhari Station, which is in Chiba. I suppose calling it Chiba Game Show would not have been so good marketing-wise, would it? There is Yokohama, under the nose of the aircraft. You can see the Bay Bridge and the Minato Mirai 21 district, which is the most modern district in Yokohama. Yeah, I don't care about Azure Online text-to-speech services, really. I'm not even using ATC. And you can see the landmark tower just under the wingtip. I actually went up there once. If you're wondering, I travel to Japan a lot for work. It's one of the main perks of my job. I love Japan. Sorry, I'm a weeb, which means I'm also an aviation weeb. I love to fly in Japan. You're flying straight over Yokohama. By the way, we have definitely passed 10,000, so we're a little late to turn off all the lights here. Strobe goes into auto, and the seatbelts goes off. I always do it late because I'm so busy just marveling at the terrain, and when I'm recording a video, just playing tour guide. I definitely wouldn't make a good pilot in real life because I'm too eager. Like I would be on the PA all the time, just being distracted while telling people, "Oh yes, here you can see this thing and that thing." We're overflying Yokohama Bay. Minato Mirai is right under us right now. And interestingly, if you guys care, one of these hills under my nose right here is the hill where the tree featured in the Mavlov series of visual novels is. That's an inspiration for that visual novel series. I actually went there a couple of times. A little bit of a pilgrimage. I love it. Absolutely adore that series. And it's on a hill in Yokohama, right under my nose. Funnily, the tree is supposed to be near the school, but it's not near a school, it's near a sports center. But the hill and the tree are very recognizable. So now you're flying straight toward Mount Fuji. And we're going to get a really, really good view of Mount Fuji. Interestingly, at this point, Mount Fuji should be snow-capped, but it isn't in the simulator, which means that the snow and ice level detection of the simulator is still a little bit flawed, I suppose. We're now flying over Saitama Prefecture. I think we actually just left Saitama Prefecture. And that sorry, my phone just rang. I turned off my microphone right in time. Where was I? I totally lost my my train of thought. Oh yeah. I was about to tell you about that airport there. The airport there is Iruma Air Base. It has a lot of like transport squadrons, I believe. Now we are flying over the mountains. Beautiful mountains. Yamanashi Prefecture, and we are reaching Mount Fuji. Beautiful day. Well, not perfect day to see Mount Fuji. Perfect day to see Mount Fuji is of course when there is no clouds. That lake right in front of right over my nose is Lake Yamanaka, one of the lakes around Mount Fuji, which are absolutely beautiful places to visit. Just let me check. Yeah, I'm at cruise altitude, and so let me just put my Icas in all. Go. back to Mount Fuji. Oh, wait a second, I noticed something. I noticed that our passengers are in a little bit of a toasty atmosphere. So let's give them a little bit of a cooler place to be, huh? Let's see here. If we can achieve a 21 degrees Celsius. Oh shit! Sorry, I selected the slew. Did I get off autopilot? No. Sometimes when I press Alt plus X, I do it wrong and I press Alt plus Z, which is a slew mode. Very bad to go into slew mode. Bad me, bad. So here's Mount Fuji. It should be snow-capped right now. And this lake that you can see with the bridge just under our APU is Lake Yamaguchi, which is one of my favorite places to go take pictures of Mount Fuji from. It's a beautiful place. If you have a time in Tokyo and you want to go and do a day trip, definitely go to Fuji Kawaguchiko, which is this city under my APU right now, and visit is Lake Kawaguchi, which is here, because it's a fantastic day trip. Like, it's very easy to get there. All you gotta do, the easiest way to get there is to take a bus. You can take the train, but I don't advise it. The bus is better. It will bring you from Shinjuku Station directly to Fuji Kawaguchiko Station, and it's about a couple hours, I believe. So you need to leave early, and also my advice, unless you're really low season or low tourist season, try to book in advance. Look at what a nice view of Mount Fuji right here. Try to book in advance, reserve the bus in advance, because it's only reserved seats. And if you don't reserve in advance, it's very easy to find the earlier buses all booked completely, 100%, every day of the week. But yeah, it's a great way to get there. 2 hours. If you want, at Kawaguchiko, there also is a Fuji Q, which is like the amusement park, theme park, which is a lot of fun. It has some really interesting roller coasters. It's the bus stop before Fuji Kawaguchiko Station. Fuji Kawaguchiko is also the place where that famous Lawson is, where people take pictures of Mount Fuji above the Lawson, and then they put a barrier because they didn't want people to be like reckless, because people literally just jumped into the street in front of it to take pictures, and it was dangerous. Like Western press, well, press in general and media said, oh, it's because they don't like tourists and whatnot. That's not what they put that barrier. It's because people were being really reckless in that place. So that barrier is not to prevent you to take pictures, because you can still take pictures. You just step to the side. It's literally to avoid people jumping into the street and getting run over by a car. But yeah, I was saying, if you want to go there, take the bus, book it in advance, if you can. It's a bit of a lottery, because if you book in advance, like a few days in advance, you won't be sure of the weather, and the weather is crucial if you want to see Mount Fuji. There are actually there are websites that tell you how, if one Mount Fuji is predicted to be visible from different spots, including like Lake Kawaguchi. And by the way, if you go to Kawaguchi, there is at the station, there is a shuttle bus that brings you to the other side of the lake, which is there is some beaches which are like gravel beaches, not like sand beaches, but still nice. That you have like the lake between you and Mount Fuji, and it's beautiful pictures. just a beautiful experience. It is crowded during the crowded months, but I always advise people, if you can, listen to me. This is the best advice, the best Japan tourism advice that I will ever give you. And look at here, 21, 21, and 1. Got it. Let's put the flight plan here and performance here, by the way. Okay. Best Japan tourism advice you will ever get, and I will swear by it. I will die on this hill. If you go to Japan and you don't have a specific period in mind, go between January and February. It's super low season because everyone goes to Japan when there is the cherry blossoms in March and in April, or when there is red leaves in October and November. But you know what? Yeah, those are nice, are beautiful, fantastic, but I think they can't compete with not having too many crowds to contend with. And in January and February, you won't find such big crowds. It's a lot more pleasant to go around. Sure, it's coldish. It's, not polar cold. It's pretty like it's, say, it's like Europe. But, so a coat is fine. If you go with a coat, it's fine. Coat and gloves. But if you can take a little bit of cold and it's not crazy, and it's still much better than summer, because summer in Japan is a no, because it's incredibly hot and incredibly humid, which makes it a lot worse. Like the hot I could take the hot. I will never be able to take that humidity. But anyway, the winter, January and February, you can get a little bit of snow maybe in February. It happened a couple of times to me. But besides the lack of crowds, the prices are fantastic because it's low season. Hotels, flights, everything is so much cheaper. But also there is another thing, pro tip that people don't know. January and February are the driest months of the year in Japan, which means you're almost always have good days, like nice sunny days, and the sun is going to help with the cold. But even better, the air is very dry, so there is no mist, and you can see like miles and miles and miles away, which means that you can get the best views of Mount Fuji ever from basically anywhere. Like, you go to Shinjuku at the Tokyo government office, it has a sky deck, like an observation deck, which is free, and you just go there, and it's one of the few observation decks that are free in Tokyo. It's quite high. It's not like skytree high, but it's high enough, and you get from there a beautiful view of Mount Fuji. You go to Kawaguchiko, you get a beautiful view of Mount Fuji. You go to the peninsula, in front of Tokyo Bay, you get a beautiful view of Mount Fuji. There is so many locations, like even the Mavla tree nearby, there is like a little bit of a terrace that you can get an incredible view of Mount Fuji from there. I have actually a picture that with I don't remember which time of the year was it, but with the sun directly setting on top of Mount Fuji from that area. But yeah, I was saying, in the winter, anywhere, you get such beautiful views of Mount Fuji that are unforgettable, really. Because the area is dry, so there is no mist. You're not like plagued by mist or everywhere you go. Because in the summer or in the warmer months, there's a lot of mist in Japan. Like that makes the view distances a little bit less fetching. But in the winter, the views are fantastic. In fact, my next trip to Japan is going to be a work trip in January and between January and February. I can't tell you what I'm going to do, because there are a couple of things that I've signed NDAs for. But if everything goes to plan, you will see. Nice day to fly. There is some cloud at the like down there toward Osaka. Let's hope we can see through them. But the area over Tokyo was fantastic. So yeah, definitely, if you can do even it. And the funny thing is that to go to Tokyo, we will not find hotels, good hotels, in high season if you don't book like 3 months in advance. If you book now, which is December 11, for mid-January, you'll still find rooms because it's low season. And that's fantastic. And the prices are going to be good. Combine that with the weekend, you're going to live like a rich person in Japan for as long as you can be there. Just look at these mountains. I have to say, Japan was looking a little dated before the latest word update, because it was the first word update. So it wasn't at the same level as regions that received new word updates. I remember that the word update was released in September 2020 for the first Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. And I remember it was announced at Tokyo Game Show exactly like the new one. So it got a little old. And back then the word updates were a little rougher, of course, because they just started. They had less stuff. Like the first photogrammetry of Tokyo, which it was not. I don't remember if it was in the word update. I think it was earlier than the word. Like it was already in the game from the start. It was so in 2014, as I said. And the new one is from late 2022, which is still not like super new, but it's good enough. And ask me how I know. That's because I was there. Both times the two photogrammetries were taken. How do I know that? Well, that's because I recognize the signs in Akihabara, the billboards, the advertisement. Those stay up only 1 month, and I recognize both of them. And I recognize and since they shift, like they're not all the same, they're not all replaced in the same moment. I can recognize exactly where it was. Like I remember the one in at Soft Map, they had a giant ad for Destiny for the first one, and now they have some Urusei Yatsura movie, which came out just after in the beginning of 2023, or it was the new series, the new like TV series they're in. Yeah, I am a weeb. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry about it actually at all. One thing that you will notice when you fly over Japan from above is just how many golf courses it has. That's crazy. Like look right now in this screen. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 golf courses. That's a leftover from the era of the bubble economy, when Japan was at a really, really, really rich economy, and everyone could practice golf as a status symbol, basically. Nowadays, a lot less people practice golf because it's an expensive job, and the economy is not as good. But so there is a lot of like indoor golfing places which are a lot cheaper. But the golf course is still there, stubbornly holding on. So look how many there are. can't get enough of this livery. It is so beautiful. And we should be almost or at Nagoya. Be on this side. Nagoya is going to be like the metropolitan area of Nagoya is massive, not as big as Tokyo's, but it's still big because it's a massive industrial center. It's where are all the Mitsubishi, like all the car manufacturing companies are. So while the city is what it is, it also has a ton of like a ton of suburbs. And I believe we are going to overfly Nagoya Airport actually. There he is. Right in front of us. You can see that there. Actually, Nagoya Airport is not the main airport of Nagoya anymore, despite the fact that it's called Nagoya Airport. RJNA, because it used to be, and then they replaced it. They built a giant airport offshore, which I don't believe we can see. Maybe we'll be able. We can see just a little bit, like where the nose of my plane is. Maybe it will show later. And then they replaced Nagoya Airport with that. That's the main airport of Nagoya. It even took its ICAO code. So now Nagoya, the old Nagoya Airport, only has one airline that flies from it, which is Fuji Dream, an all Embraer E-Jets airline, but it's a really peculiar one because they're all painted different colors. Like every single aircraft has a different livery: red, yellow, golden, blue, green. So they are fantastic to look at because when you're like flying Fuji Dream, you never know which color you're getting. Unfortunately, there is no scenery for Nagoya Airport that I know, no payware scenery. I really wish there was, because I'd love to fly Fuji Dream, especially now that the E-Jets are better. There is a freeware scenery, but I believe they made it like it used to be when it was the main airport, and now the airport is very different. I also would love to have a Chubu Central Airport payware scenery. There is a decent freeware, but payware would be better. Should be right there, hidden by the clouds. Because Chubu Central is one of the main airports in Japan, and it's one of the main cargo airports in Japan. It actually is visited very often by the Antonovs and by the Dreamlifters, the Boeing Dreamlifters, which would be good because we have the Antonov 225, and also which went to Chubu Central a lot when it was active. Unfortunately, now it's not anymore. But Dreamlifter, now the Dreamlifter has been fixed with SIM Update 4, so we can fly that. And that aircraft flies to Chubu Central a lot. Unfortunately, the airport is hidden from view by the clouds, but it's right there. It's a reclaimed island airport, like Tokyo Haneda, and like Kitakyushu, which is the other airport we're flying now. Those are the Kiso River and the Nagara River, which is the massive rivers that cross Nagoya City. Nothing, I really can't show you Chubu Centrair. Looks like it really is completely hidden by the clouds. It's a pity. Yeah, if you're making scenery and you listen to me, make it Chubu Centrair. I wish there is a very good Japanese companies that make some airport that they're now making a new Haneda airport. It's called Technobrain, and I wish they would do Chubu Centrair. Excuse me. But unfortunately, they are very good, but also very slow. I've been working on Haneda for over 2 years by now. They made a fantastic Yao airport in Osaka, and a fantastic Kansai airport also, which they have been made luckily compatible with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And now they're working on Tokyo, and hopefully that will be released soon enough. Last time they showed it, it kinda looked almost complete, but they don't communicate very much, so you never know, because you know they could show only the places that are complete. There's also another company that's working on Haneda, which is Axonos. But I am not sure what point they are. I think they are making the version for X-Plane first. Ah, there is Chubu Centrair, just a small tip of it. You can see it just under my nose. Ooh. Whoa, look at that. We just got a close encounter. Did we get any? Oh yes, we did. It actually climbed us automatically. Yeah, see. I should check those things. It was 500. Looks like it was 500 feet under us, so it was fine. But see, I'm here giving you the tour. I'm not looking at my avionics. I completely missed the Tikas, because I also have my volume down a bit. Otherwise, it would go into my microphone, and I don't want that. But I'm sure you. Oh, we have a company message, by the way. Oh, our cabin is a bit frosty now. 20 degrees. Let's see if we can put 1 degrees again. Company message probably gonna tell us that we're fine. We had our departure was good. So we go into menu, Atsu, you'll see menu, received messages, ops, no ADC required, which means that we don't need to. We departed on time. Okay, sorry, I have a little bit of cold, so my throat sometimes is a little. Now it's 21. Let's go back to the flight plan. I want to see. You can see our top of the descent here, still quite far. And I'm going to be a bad boy, bad pilot, and go back out to see if there is more. More to show, and guess what that is? Is it the sea? No, it's not. It's not the sea. This is the massive Lake Biwa. It's the biggest lake in Japan, and just east of Kyoto. We are flying over the city of Toyosato, I believe, Toyosato, and we can see quite a bit of Lake Biwa, which is a beautiful destination also. But the clouds are covering a lot of it, unfortunately. It is massive. You just saw the coastline right there. It is absolutely gigantic. I believe the mountain right there, it's pretty big. It's called Kojinyama or something like that. There is like a famous shrine on top of it, and a lot of hiking. A lot of people go hiking there. Yeah, the weather is getting worse, unfortunately. But yeah, there is more Lake Biwa there. So to give you an example, an idea how big it is, it's Lake Biwa there, and it's still Lake Biwa there, and it's also Lake Biwa there, because the tip goes quite a bit inland. It has a interesting shape. Oh, so sad that the view got a little bit covered now, but the clouds are beautiful. Like, this simulator is so much better than 2020. There, and it's still Lake Biwa there, right there. Like it does the whole thing around here. That's the tip of Lake Biwa, by the way. Like the very tip, the very southern tip of Lake Biwa and the city of Hotsu. And right after the city of Otsu, there is going to be Kyoto, which also got photogrammetry. I was saying the clouds are so much better now on 2024 than on 2020. Can't believe people still say that 2020 is on par with 2024. It's like crazy talk, like literally, like even just not the graphics but also the physics, everything is better. But I believe with Sim Update 4 a lot of people are finally going to see the light and move on to 2024. There, the break of clouds, you can see Kyoto. Not much of it, but that's Kyoto. And Sim Update 4, I hear a lot of people are moving to 2024 and leaving 2020 behind. Finally. Because and I say finally because it's good that developers are going to be enabled to just drop 2020. It's very expensive for developers and very resource consuming to make things for two simulators, and also it delays the time in which they really embrace all the technology that 2024 gives us, which gives us better performance and all that. So that's Kyoto. I believe also like when the 737 by PMDG releases, it should be a few days from now. That's going also to bring a lot of people to 2024, because of course there is a lot of people that love a certain aircraft, and that aircraft is not available yet for 2020. That's Kyoto Station, by the way. I can understand that. Like if your favorite add-on is still in 2020 and it's not in 2024, like the 737 by PMVG, yeah, that's going to give you pause before you move on to 2024. I understand that. Now after Kyoto, I don't know if we can see Osaka. It's right there in that sea of clouds, which is actually a quite common occurrence when there is good weather in Tokyo, there is often bad weather in Osaka. In fact, last time I was in Tokyo, it was October, I ate something funny. A little reckless, perhaps. The last day I was in Tokyo, and the last full day after I would have my plane back to Italy, I was October. The night before, like past midnight, I was like looking at the weather, trying to organize what to do because it was a day off. I didn't have I just had my normal work, not much. And when I'm in Japan, I mostly work at night anyway because I work in kind of American times. And basically, what happened, I was like, goodness, tomorrow the weather in Tokyo is gonna be really nasty. Let's see what I can find, like do a day trip somewhere. And I look around and I was like, there really isn't any place with good weather around Tokyo. And then I started looking at plane tickets. I found out that a plane ticket to Osaka was really quite cheap back in like a return flight for the day after, like for a few hours in the future, basically, to Osaka Itami, not Kansai, which is the domestic airport, basically, where most of the domestic flights go. And I was like, ooh, and the weather is going to be nice. So I book it, and the day after, and also it's going to be a 767. And nowadays, when there is less and less, fewer and fewer 767 flying, do you say no to a 767 flight? No, sir. So I took the morning after. I left my hotel at 6, and at 7 I was at Haneda Airport, and I took my flight to Osaka. And since the day trip to Osaka, you don't do much. Osaka is really bad. Even just transportation to the city from the airport is going to take time. Oh, there is an aircraft there. It's blue. Is it a Korean aircraft here? I don't know. But yeah, I really can't see any of Osaka here. But it's clearing a little bit, maybe. It is the hills north of Osaka. But basically, I arrived at Osaka, and so I decided to do a plane spotting trip at Osaka Itami Airport. It was fantastic. One of the best airports for plane spotting. The first time I went, it's one of the best airports for plane spotting in Japan or everywhere that I've seen. I loved it because on the other side of the runways, opposed to the terminal, there is a park, and that park is in a hill, and it's called like Fly Park or something. It's literally a park for plane spotters, but you can find families, you can find every kind of person there because people love aircraft, people love airplanes. So of course, even parents bring their kids to watch the airplanes take off and land. But yeah, it's on a hill, and it runs along the whole runway, and it's beautiful. And I think cities should really give value to the areas around the airports like that. That's a fantastic initiative. I love that part. I took some awesome pictures. I haven't developed it yet and published it on the internet, but I think I'm going to put them on my personal YouTube channel. This is something that I wanted to experiment for a while. Just make videos out of my pictures. Since photography is my hobby, one of my hobbies. Look at how many golf courses there are here. So just make videos out of my pictures, put some music, and see if people like them. And if you want to see my personal YouTube channel, you can just find as a collaboration with this. You're gonna see that this video is going to collaborate with my personal YouTube channel, since my personal YouTube channel is a lot older than Simulation Daily. And my previous website, for some reason, they did not want a YouTube channel, So the previous work I had, like a news editor at other sites, they didn't want the YouTube channel. So when I needed to add a video for my articles, I would have to upload them to my personal YouTube channel. So my personal YouTube channel actually has like 13,000 subscribers. So doing these collaborations with my personal YouTube channels basically gives more visibility to Simulation Dailies videos. But this way, if you want to see my pictures, my plane spotting pictures, you can subscribe to my personal YouTube channel too, and you can find them there. When I decided to, it always takes time to, and like the mood to develop your pictures. But I have quite a few plane spotting trips. Like I went to Komatsu Airbase, Komatsu Airport and Airbase. There was like a air show in October. I took so many pictures of F-15s there. They have the Aggressor Squadron of the JSDF. So they have like really nice camos. They are really awesome. And F-35, that they are this new squadron. Well, an old F-15 squadron has been reassigned to F-35s. I've never been as wet as in that trip because it rained a lot. You know, when you're just around doing nothing, if it rains, you just take shelter, right? But if F-15s are doing stuff in front of you on the runway, you bear the water. You just do it. You just stay under there, and I got like a cover on my camera, trying not to destroy it. Then I went to Yakuri Air Base when they have the F-2s. Of course, I did a couple of more than a couple of plane spotting trips to Haneda Airport. They just opened. The last one was really good because they just opened a new observation place that is so much better than the ones you had at the on top of the terminals. It's detached from the airport. Is actually on the other side near the river, but you can basically just walk almost all the way to runway 34L, and you see the aircraft landing from really close. If you have even just with a 400 millimeters lens, you can get some incredible pictures there. It's called Soramnado Park Place, something like that, but it's easy to find, and not many people know it. Really, there was almost no one when I went. So we're back in the sea right now. We passed Osaka. Unfortunately, couldn't see Osaka. It's right there. Behind us, but we can see it even now. You can see Awaji Island. That over the wingtip is Awaji Island, which is one of the biggest islands in Japan. I believe we are somewhere with Imeji right now. That should be Imeji. Where you can find the Himeji Castle, which is modeled in the simulator. Oh, there he is, straight under our engine, right there. That's Himeji Castle. You see it? Right here. Imeji Castle for you. Well, That was fortuitous. I just looked exactly the right time. Well, unfortunately, we can't see much because we're 28,000 feet in the air, but, well, you can see how big it is, though. That's Akko. Which has a pretty famous seaside park. I'm glad that the sky cleared so we can see a little bit more of Japan. I actually haven't been much into this part of Japan, but still, Japan is always beautiful from the air. Let me just check that nothing needs my attention here. Definitely early for the top of the descent and all the stuff that I need to do before the top of the descent. Everything seems good. Temperature in the cabin is good. It's Ieshima. Trio Islands right there. The one with the sand dunes is Nishima. Actually, I don't believe they're sand dunes. They're probably just quarries. This looks like a lake. It's actually a bay. It is connected to the sea, although by very small straits. It's pretty picturesque. And we should see, actually, somewhere there it is. That you can see in front of the nose of my plane is Taiyo Hikari power plant. I believe it's called Setouchi something. Setouchi Taiyo Hikari power plant. Taiyo Hikari literally means light of the sun. That's exactly what it is. It is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, solar power plants in Japan. I believe it like that part was used to be all a bay, and then it was reclaimed. Like it was Kinkai Bay. And then that part of the ground was reclaimed and to build a solar farm on top of. And just beyond it is going to be Okayama City, one of the big cities in Japan. Not massive, but pretty big. I love to just fly peacefully around like this, giving you a tour. Unfortunately, I know other places of the world a lot less than Japan. Japan is my favorite place, and it kind of shows. So, if I fly in other places of the world, they're probably quieter. Which means that if you enjoy quiet, then it's good, I suppose. If you enjoy chatty, then you probably should watch my Japanese flights, because they have a lot to say. As you probably already noticed when we flew. Oh, by the way, we are exactly 80 miles from our top of descent, which means that it's time to enter my destination data and all that stuff. Good that I looked, because otherwise I would be late. Okay, first of all, we go into init wind. Let's get a new wind request, and we'll have my checklist. Okay, we need to uplink the wind. Here are the advisories. We need to do our arrival performance. Refresh the meter. Apply the meter. We are, oh nice, just a no crosswind. I love no crosswind. We have a nice headwind that's going to make landing pretty easy, so I have no excuse if I screw it up. Great. So our landing weight. We need to go into our fuel prediction page. Our gross weight is now 61.7, and the estimated fuel on board is 3.1. Our fuel on board now is 3.8, which means it's 0.7. So it's 61 is going to be our weight, our landing weight. 61 tons. We're going to have medium auto brake since the runway in Kitakyushu is not super long. Even when we could definitely do with low auto brake, especially with the headwind like this, but let's go medium. We won't need reversers. Manual landing, flap full, and auto thrust on. Good. Like normally you would have I would have nowadays people are like advising to land on flaps 3. Like that seems to be the new normal, but I'm still not used to it, so I'm not going to risk it and have to redo the whole recording. So I'm just gonna do a flaps full landing. Now I need to go into performance. Next. You should enter the QNH, which is 2023 and 23. Temperature 11. Wind 340 at 11. Transitional flight is actually a 140 to a level. The barometric minimum at arrival is 319 for our category. And I believe we inserted everything we needed. So we're fine. I also need to check the go around altitude is 4,000. So I need to remember it. Go back to the previous phase. And we have everything ready for when we reach our top of descent. Should set the auto brake already. They're going to be, we say, the medium. Okay, we got it. Lower our range. We can go look outside for a little bit longer. So where are we now? I believe that's Takanishicho. Okay, now I know where we are. Okay. This massive island here, Okaishima, is the first of like a pretty big archipelago of islands, all connected by bridges. Like they have really big bridges here. That's Mihara. That city right here. Just need to be careful to go back into the cockpit once in a while, just to not to miss our top of descent, because it's coming. We are now 40 miles from a top of descent, so I better be careful. You have no idea how many times I missed the top of descent. To be the dude that looks at the pretty vistas. So yeah, I'm going to stay in the flight deck until we get to the top of the descent. You can still see it from here. At this point we would request our ATC clearance to descend. We'll just assume that we have that clearance. Almost there. Reduced to 20 miles. There is a tiny bit of turbulence. I can see the aircraft dancing a little bit. On-docks there. The top of the descent is going to be right after on-dock, so I'm going to start configuring my descent right at on-dock. So now, the descent should be 20 miles from now. More or less. There it is. Starting to appear right there. Sunshades are all up already. Hello, my nice co-pilot. I actually don't do RNAV approaches very often. Oh, there is one thing I need to do. Okay, I need to change the autopilot off button because I believe I have set it to the wrong one. Yeah, I can do it while I'm starting to descend. Otherwise, the autopilot will do all sort of things. Like Fenix has a specific autopilot button being binded. You need to bind on your stick. If you do it wrong, it's basically it would interpret that you took off this button instead of this button, and it will complain, which is very distracting when you're trying to land. And I forgot to do it because I just reconfigured my stick. I forgot to configure that. I will do it after we start our descent. So I need to do 1500. It won't move until I tell him. And we will move it exactly when we cross the top of the descent. Oh, top of the descent moved. Your controls. And we also are changing our transponder, our take us to below. Okay, now we are descending, and I can do that thing at my keybinds. I'm going to obscure the screen for a little bit because that's annoying if I got it wrong. See? This is the one. Great. Thank you. What button is that? Okay, see, I had it to toggle autopilot master. If you have it on toggle autopilot master, it's going to be problematic because it's going to basically start put a master warning, a lot of stuff. It's going to ring. It's going to be annoying, and you are going to be distracted. I guarantee that. So if you configuring the Fenix for the first time, or you have a fresh configuration from your joystick, remember to set your button that you use for turning off the autopilot when you are close to landing. Remember to put it on autopilot off and not on master autopilot toggle as it is by default, because it will screw you up. Like, really, it's not good. Now back to our flight. Sorry about the little interruption of the spectacle. We are now descending nicely. By the way, the Fenix has a bit of some problems in its VNAV in descent mode, so we will have to see if it's precise for this approach, or if it leaves us a little high. If it leaves us high, correct. They are aware of it. They are working on it, and that's why they have delayed their Neos, which I'm sad about, but it's a good choice. Because I really want the Neos, because ANA is almost ANA that is one of my favorite airlines to fly. Almost only fly Neos nowadays. They only fly Neos for the A320 and almost only for the A321s. So, and I prefer to fly Fenix than to fly the default ones. Bring up our checklist again. At 150, we'll have to turn on the seatbelts, get my passengers ready. In the meanwhile, we can still take a look a little bit outside. That city right there should be Hiroshima. Which means that Hiroshima Airport should be somewhere on our right. Let's see if I see it. Hiroshima Airport is actually quite far from the city of Hiroshima. It's on a hill. It's pretty scenic because you're basically landing on a hill with like valleys all around you. Meanwhile, let's see our altitude. We're almost at 15,000. We'll turn on our seatbelts. 17. Still a little Oh, crap. I did again. Am I still in autopilot? Yes. Okay. I always do that. When I select the when I select the external camera, sometimes instead of pressing Shift plus X, I press Shift plus Z. I should really rebind this slew mode somewhere else, because I don't use it anyway. Because that can screw you up at the wrong time. Yeah. We definitely missed Hiroshima Airport, which was somewhere right there. But that's Hiroshima. And we definitely passed 15,000, so we can turn on our seatbelts. Next stuff to do is going to be 14,000. By the way, since we are going straight down to our altitude there, we should put the QNH it is 10 and 23. There we go. All 1,000. At 10,000 I will have to turn on the landing lights and everything else. So far, I don't think we forgot anything. I have a knack for forgetting stuff, by the way. I don't know if you know that. You probably do. Sometimes I'm like, oh my god, I need to pull down the flaps, and I'm at minimum. And I was like, oh my god. Auto brake is one of the things I forget the most, but it's on. That's why you use checklists. That way you do not forget. So, landing lights on. Nose light goes in takeoff. Rain on ND. Definitely don't need it because we are landing on a reclaimed island. It's going to be no terrain. And we don't need the ILS because we are not landing on ILS. At Asari we need to be 4,000. Are we 20 miles off? Should be able to shave 6,000 in 20 miles. It's more like 15 miles now, 16 miles. If it doesn't stop descending like it's doing now. I don't like it when it does that. It's waiting for the ball. I think I'm taking over. Sorry, mate. I may be a little bit ahead of it, but I don't mind being ahead of it. Better ahead of it than behind it. You should never be behind your aircraft. See, now the ball is actually lower, so I'm going to give him control again. It's going to just bring me down faster than what I'm doing. See, now it's leaving it behind. Come on. You can do it. Yeah, it's not too bad, but I think I can do better. I can pull some brake. Let him go down faster. People hesitate too much pulling the brakes. You shouldn't. That's what they are for. Some people think it's like dishonorable to use your brakes or something. That's literally what they are for. That's also gonna be my decel point. Right now I don't think I need the brakes anymore, so I can put them back in. Okay. Now it's decelerating. We were right on the money. Maybe even a little low, but it's fine. $691 is going to be our FAF. Sorry, where I'm going to pull flaps 1. A bit of a time skip here. Unfortunately, just as I was about to pass the FAP, my phone rang, causing me to miss pressing the approach button, with the effect that you can imagine. I went around and I'm just leaving the hold at the Zari to try my approach again. As usual, when something goes wrong during an approach, you should never hesitate to go around. A few minutes in a hold are very much preferable to a botched landing. Miles, flaps. Sorry if I am a bit quiet, I am trying to focus on putting this thing on the runway. Flaps 2. Approach phase. Arm the spoilers. Cabin rank. Gear down. Phone rang. I didn't click on approach before I arrived at the FAP, so it literally just did not descend, which is a problem. So now flaps 3. Flaps full. There is another aircraft landing, but it's going to be out of the runway before I arrive. Fortunately, I'm not using ATSA and I'm not going around at that time. Auto brake is inserted, everything is ready for landing. Two white to reds, which means we are perfectly in glide slope.
100 above.
Disconnect autopilot. See, now that I have done the correct configuration on my stick, it's going to do it right.
$100. 50, 40, 30, 10, 5.
Nice and greaser. Keep the center line. And we landed. That was a good landing, I believe. I'm going to leave it here. And we're out to the runway, clear runway. Pull up the flaps. Disarm spoilers. Turn off the weather radar, the predicted wind shear. Flight director off, constraints off. A bit fast. What are you doing? Constraint off, flight director off. Turn on the APU. Terrain off. We're taxiing a little bit faster than what we should, but I've kept you here enough, I suppose. Let's go to our parking. Nice line up. There you go. Parking brake on. Cab is open. I guess for some reason they attached the jetway immediately. I don't know why they shouldn't do that. Definitely shouldn't do that. Should wait for they did it themselves. I didn't do it, but that's in standby. Transponder in standby, and we can do our little shutdown procedure. Well, we better shut down the thing, since they really want us to remove, to get our passengers off like really quickly. Okay, so APU bleeds on, landing lights off. I should have turned it off before, but also taxi lights off. Flaps are up. Transport is disarmed. Turning the D off. Weather radar's off. Wind shear is off. Engine lights off. APU is started. Parking brake is set. Turn off lights off. APU bleed is on. So we can turn off the engine. Bleed is on. Kill the engines. And let's get a nice outside view. Oh, it's like we have an UPS aircraft there. Get a nice outside view of the engines pulling down for a moment. Well, now it removes that. Passengers are still in. Definitely still in. Well, that was a weird thing. Wait for for the engine to spool down a little bit. Seat belts go off, so the passengers can start unloading their stuff. And beacon goes off. Yeah, now commence the boarding, see? The board. Now you can board. Ground services, toggle the jetway. Now you can bring in the jetway. Look at that. So now transponder is in standby already. Fuel pumps go off. External power is available. Call it GPU is available. Okay. So external power goes on. And APU bleed and APU master go off. Oxygen crew supply go off. Heaters go off. And exterior light go off. Okay. There you Now my passengers are deboarding. You can see that they are deboarding here. Welcome to Kitakyushu Airport. Again, I had a little bit of an accident on landing because my phone rang and all hell broke loose. But despite having to go into a hold and wait and make it back, we did a pretty decent landing, I believe. Going to keep the lights on while our passengers aboard and take a good look at our airport. This is a new airport, so why not looking? It's a pretty nice airport. As I told you, is a reclaim island like Tokyo Haneda, but it's of course much smaller. There's still some construction going on there, and it's connected with with that massive bridge to the mainland. There is like an industrial area there, and a giant quarry right there. And on the other side of these mountains, it's Fukuoka. But I believe it is time to finish our tour here. Thank you for watching. As usual, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe. That's always super helpful. You can also leave a comment if you have feedback, and we always enjoy reading them. Thank you so much for your time and attention. We hope to see you again soon here on Simulation Daily's YouTube channel and on the site. We have plenty of content coming because our flight simulation coverage never stops.